area for over 30 years. From design to install, upgrades, and repair, if you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hi, I'm Scott Miller, Business Development Officer at Midwest Bank's Lincoln branches. As a lifelong Lincolnite with over 30 years of experience in financial management, I'm here to help your business grow and succeed. My focus is building strong relationships with businesses and clients across Lincoln. Because at Midwest Bank, we believe banking is about people, not just numbers. Visit us at midwest.bank or stop by one of our Lincoln locations. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you would.
With all the matchups that you can imagine, and you go into it and you're without Brock Hardy. And you make some decisions. You're without Chance Lamer. And, well, can you find a way? Can you find a way to get through? And they did. And it took some moments. The Antrell Taylor finish will be tracked and covered in full. The bounce back and resilience of AJ Ferrari, that will come out and be proud of the young man for going on the road in the Big Ten. And this is a statement win for the Huskers. They improved 8-3. And I think in the best part of it, right? And the best part of it is as they were sharp enough to get through on the road in the Big Ten against a top 10 team. A known rival. There were some matchups that were familiar enough. Even the matches that didn't go the Huskers' way, there were some gains. There were some lessons. Yeah, it's not piping through. So it'll just be you and me, bro. You're good. No, you're good.
We can hear you. They can hear us on the
Yeah, they can hear us, but
I don't know what's going on with
the monitor is
so that everybody can hear us. Everything's the same. Is it cold out?
It was cold. It was cold. It'll be a lot chillier walking home after that Minnesota duel for those boys. We look good. We look good.
Walk us through what happens on the road, that why you bring backups and why you bring reserves, and why everybody on the roster has to prepare as though the next meet is their biggest meet.
Yeah. Coach Manning talks about that a lot, just always being, because stuff happens in wrestling, whether it's in practice, whether it's in matches, traveling, cutting weight. It's wintertime, people get sick, right? And that's what was going on at 49. Lamer wasn't feeling good. We were supposed to have an individual this week. He called me early in the morning, was like, hey, I'm feeling horrible, not going to make it in today. So we kind of knew that he wasn't going to be ready to go, but it was just little things like that. It could be somebody tweaks their knee a little bit, ankle, anything could be going on, and it's got to be ready to go because we got to put somebody out there. Otherwise, you run into the same problems we had down at national duels. We didn't we weren't able to bring a full 2 teams with us. You know, we had some injuries, then we had to take forfeits, and forfeits tough to come back from. So
if we tried to figure out that the leadership in this year's Husker wrestling team is in fact Brock Hardy, how does that affect the Huskers when your lead dog is not leading you out the tunnel and out there setting the standard for how the business is going to go?
You know, it can be tough missing somebody like Brock, you know, who's been a key part of this lineup for so long now. But individual sport, you handle your business, right? And you just trust your teammates to handle their business. So you don't never put too much stock into one of your guys being ready to go, because anything can happen, right? Brock, the little bit of a pitch count going on, just nothing wrong with him. He's good to go. Wife's birthday, so he got to stay home, you know, treat her last night, went out to dinner. But they told him earlier in the week, like, hey, we're just going to leave you home, let you rest on this one. But, you know, individual sport, we have a lineup full of killers, people who are ready to go, and, you know, they held it down.
Can we talk? Let's talk about the two Huskers who step up, because you're familiar with them. Some Husker fans may not be as familiar. Let's talk about the guys that stepped in tonight for Coach Manning and this Husker team.
Yeah, my boy Jake Hockaday, the freshman. You know, this is back-to-back weekends for him after his ACL surgery and his recovery. He hasn't been able to be on the mat a whole lot. Just he got cleared about a month ago to start really getting after it and start pushing himself. So, you know, 4-timer out of Indiana, super tough kid, super hard worker. It was tough keeping him off the mat. He was arguing with our trainer every day, just saying, "Oh, can I do this? Can I do this?" But, you know, good showing. Wrestling Vance Baumauer, who's an All-American, Big Ten finalist last year. That kid's tough and was in it till the very end. Almost made some stuff happen. And then Nicaid Zinkin. We got to see Nicaid in the Army duel, and he stepped up a couple more times when we were waiting for Lamer, kind of figuring out what we were going to do with that. National duels, you got to go out there and compete a little bit, but tough 2-timer out of California, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Nicaid's tough, and being able to step up and just, you know, keeping their red shirts. We get the 5 dates, getting to go out there and get that Big Ten wrestling fuel in away territory, but, you know, it's a little hostile environment. It's different. You're on the road, you're traveling, getting to kind of get a feel for everything, because they get to travel in the past, even when they weren't wrestling. Like when I was redshirting, I was able to travel with the team, but I didn't get my 5 dates. That was new as of 2 years ago. I believe they implemented that. But just getting to actually like get to have the full experience be super beneficial. And, you know, it's kudos to those guys. Stepping up on the road in a Big Ten duel is tough to do.
Talk us through going to Minneapolis, going to Minnesota and wrestling in that building. What's that like?
You know, it's a little goofy. I don't know how they did it this year. Obviously I wasn't there, but in their wrestling room, they almost have 2 rooms. So they have their big 4 mats where their team will be, and then they can drop a curtain, and then it's like 1.5 little mats, right? So you're kind of wrestling in this tight little area with the training station and some bleachers pulled out into your space. So it's like little things like that can kind of like mess with you a little bit. Like, well, why can't we just lift the curtain and we share the room? In Nebraska, we just share the room. But it's just little things like that, you know, it can kind of test your mental a little bit, especially on the road. You have to go, you're on the road, you're traveling, you got to keep up on your schoolwork, you're cutting weight, you have all this stuff going on. And, you know, the Minnesota fans, they're knowledgeable about wrestling. The crowd seemed, from what I saw on TV, was pretty deep. They were in there. It was big. And with the way they have their bench set up, you're right next to a bunch of fans, right? So they're chirping at you, talking a little bit. You have all that going on. So it's a fun place to wrestle. It's loud. The fans are knowledgeable. You get a little bit of goofiness going on before you go out there and wrestle. So just getting to be able to feel all that. It was Minnesota was a place that I like to wrestle. It was fun.
Here's the thing.
And their wrestling room is in a different location than the arena. So you travel to the arena for weigh-ins. At least I remember my freshman year we did. I don't remember last year we did it in their weight room, but their practice facility it's like a 5-minute, 10-minute drive from the arena. So you're wrestling over here, you do all this stuff, and then you have to drive over. So that's cutting into your eating time, your recovery time. It's just there's a lot that goes into it.
I would think that program is in a transition as well.
Mm.
A lot of the broadcast was talking about, well, you need a Minnesota heavyweight, right? Because they carried that dude for a minute, and that changed the room.
Yep, they have a history of heavyweights too. Brock Lesnar, Gable Steveson, they've had some dudes.
Is that, does that help Nebraska in kind of the mindset, or do you not pay attention to what your opponents do?
Me personally, I never did.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big, like, I'm going to scout this guy real hard. I never really even cared about what they had going on. Obviously, some of those guys kind of like when Gable Stevenson walks into the wrestling room, like there's some aura that comes with that. This kid just won the Olympics. There's some like energy that he brings to that team. And when they don't have that guy anymore, they do have Max McAnally, who is very successful, super tough, but it doesn't carry the same feel.
You could tell.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to hang out in the same space as the Big Ten in Evanston, and then in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever Gable was in the room, Minnesota had a different walk.
Yeah.
They had a different walk, a different attitude around them.
We had that same feel earlier this year with you and I. Because last year when we went in there, they had Parker Keckheisen.
Mm-hmm.
This dude was a dog. He was super good, super tough. And then this year when they walked in, it was like, look at the guys in the purple, right? What wasn't as scary. Last year when they walked in, it was like, ooh, Keckeisen's in the front, followed by Coach Schwab. It's like, okay, they're coming to scrap. Minnesota, they walk in, no Gable. It's a different feel.
It just felt different. Even from the outside looking in, it felt a little different as well. 2012, Huskers get it done. I don't want to bury the lead in that the moment of the night is pretty easy to get to.
Mm-hmm, come on.
Oh, but I want to let that marinate for a bit, right? If it's not that moment, what is the moment of the night? Is it LJ? Is it AJ? Is it Van D? Who else? Who's also on the marquee tonight?
My next two that I'd give flowers to would be LJ Aruja, getting it done, wrestling tough, winning scrambles, doing his thing, and then Cam McDaniel. Right, at the very end of the match, kids throwing the kitchen sink at you, and I saw it early when they were getting into some of those positions. I was like, this kid's dangerous. He's looking to go big. Cam's a on the leg type of guy. Getting tied up upper body, that's not really his thing.
Right.
And it was a little nervous. Then there at the end, Cam stayed composed. And then that last takedown, he took him down. He put a stamp on that. He put that kid down hard.
And it was necessary.
Mm-hmm.
The room felt a little different.
Yep. That was kind of like, this is done. It's done. Those two definitely get some flowers.
All right, here's what we'll do. We're gonna reset. We'll take a break, and then we'll come back and reset. Ridge Lovett's in the house. Nick Wyman's in the house. The Huskers get it done in Minneapolis. We'll take you through 10 bouts and some other stories. There's some other stories in the news that may require some of Ridge's insight. We'll get all of that when we come back.
Every child deserves the chance to thrive, and public schools open that door. Hi, I'm Tim Royers, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Whether it's a kind word, a helping hand, or showing up for a school event, your involvement matters. The future starts at school, yes, but it's shaped at home by you. When families positively engage, our students shine. Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
I think it's just vapor.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes.
My kid
knows it's dangerous.
5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
A Shiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right. Let's set the table. Live from Minneapolis. Huskers get it done. Skurs get it done.
Skurs by 9, baby. Come on.
Get it. They get their 9th win of the season, and we will spend this segment eyes locked in being present, because when we start to look down the road, we got to have some different conversations. We gotta have some different conversations. But tonight was the story of some things that could have gone terribly wrong and didn't. And I want to start in a different place, because even in his loss, Silas already made a statement. Because he didn't have a good look against this opponent previous match. And I could tell it was leaning on him a little bit, which is interesting because Silas doesn't really work in that kind of space.
No, not often.
Right? Like, it just go out there and get it done. And I know he was still bothered that he didn't get it done, but for most of, for 7 minutes, it was everything it was supposed to be. How does he get through? What did you see from Silas tonight?
Leg defense was on point, right? This kid just won a world title this summer in dominant fashion, smashed people from all over the world. And, he shut down his offense. He wrestled great defensively, more attacks though. Yeah. We need to get on the kid's legs. It's going to be hard to win a match without a takedown. We saw that in the duel that went on before ours, right? The team that got blown out had more stall calls than takedowns, right? If you're not getting takedowns, it's going to be tough to win. And, that was the story of that match. Wrestled very disciplined, very well for 7 minutes. Got ghosted in overtime by a fantastic duck under. It was an awesome shot. That was the kid's world champ. That was a good shot.
It stunned Silas.
Wasn't ready for that one.
I watched it back and forth, and there was a facial expression, and Silas never changed his facial expression, and it hit him that, man, I was right there. I was right there, and it affected him. But I think my question to you is, how close is Silas to being the version he wants to be?
Real close. I don't know what he's missing. I think that it's just a little bit, because he has the dog. His technique is fantastic. He's very disciplined in his wrestling. I think it just has to be a little bit more courage to be the one to go get one. I think that's the only thing that he's missing. Because like when we talk with Caleb Smith, who's the overtime king,
right?
I'm just gonna go get it.
I just got to go get it.
Die on your shield. Go out there, go for it. If it works out, you win. If it doesn't, well, you went for it. You were the one who pulled the trigger.
Explain to me the mantra of chasing points, because that was before the season. That was a big talking point. We're going to chase points. Like, we're just going to chase points. And then sometimes the season happens and situations happen. For this particular lineup of Huskers, what does chasing points mean? How are they going to get them?
Pushing through the anxiety, right? Being the one to go get to your attack. It's frustrating. That's something that I dealt with. It's like going out of the first period. If it was 0-0, I'm like, yeah, we're in great shape, because this kid cannot ride me. if he goes down, I'm going to ride him out, turn him, or pin him. Like, we're good. But then at the same time, it's like, why would I ever try to leave the first period 0-0? Go out there, just get something on the board, make something happen, right? And Minnesota had some game plans tonight. We saw that where they were trying to shut it down. And sometimes, you got to be able to push through that. Like Jake Van D needs to fire off more shots. We got in on the legs a couple times, spent too much time in the tie up. Just be courageous. Just go out there, dive to your face if you have to, and reach for a leg. Sometimes it works out. And if not, well, if you lose matches taking shots, we'll work that way. There's a lot of time to figure that out.
Walk us through the match of the evening. Walk us through.
The one that got me out my seat, jumping up and down, cheering, sweat. Oh, my goodness. 157, Millard, Taylor, and my boy Antrell. Ooh, scoreless first period. Charlie goes down, quick escape. Kid was pretty tough on top. It wasn't a quick escape, actually. It wasn't quick. He got some mat returns, got in on a wrist, was riding tough. Charlie eventually got up to his feet, got his escape. That kid goes down, gets out, and then gets in on a deep double. The shots before that, Charlie was able to kind of muscle the kid up, pick him up off of his legs. But, that one, that looked like he was sacking the quarterback, stopping the running back. Ran through him, ran his feet the whole time. Got a takedown on the edge. Down 4-1 on the road. This is decision time.
Mm-hmm.
You lose a match, it's not the end of the world. But at the same time, how do you want your season to go? And Antrell Taylor made a statement. He was down, boom, quick up to his feet, made something happen, got in on a leg, and all the craziness ensued. Charlie big brothered him. Same thing he did to the Purdue kid. Same thing he did to the Oklahoma State kid going out of bounds. Smacks this kid on his back. Gets the go-ahead takedown and picks up a fall with 2 seconds left in the match. It was got me out of my seat.
Have you ever finished a match that way with a fall in the final 5 seconds?
One that I can remember. I think I was 12. 12. Folk Style Nationals wrestling Cade DeVos, who was an All-American from SDSU.
Yeah.
Losing, ran him over to his back, pinned him with a couple seconds left. Looked at my dad like, oh my gosh, dude, that was crazy.
What goes through your mind from between period 2 and 3? What's the conversation Charlie's having with himself?
With that one, it's gonna be let's make this kid work to get up. Let's pull on him a little bit, and let's find one of our go-to shots.
Does he trust his strength?
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a thing. And I'm going to ask you a question that I'm not sure. Normally, when I ask the question, I have a pretty good idea what the answer is going to be. In this particular case, I don't. Is tonight the result of him wrestling this year's version of Christopher Minto and LJ?
That's
because that's a big brother move, which means you've been in some clinches.
Mm-hmm.
You've been in some exchanges, and when you needed it, you felt it, and you were able to let it rip.
Yeah, that I think it might be a little more from wrestling James. He wrestles with James quite a bit.
Okay.
And when you're wrestling someone who's real strong, and the Millard kid looks strong.
Yeah.
That kid looks strong. I felt it with myself when I was bumping up in weights. Charlie's been at the same weight now for a little bit, but he wrestled at 165 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And those kids were not bullying him at all. He was holding his own. He was doing his thing, but wrestling with James, who's real strong, real athletic, just getting those feels. Charlie's a freak. I don't know where that came from. That was incredible.
It was, and to watch kind of that cluster of the roster, of the lineup,
mm-hmm.
from Trelly to Minto and LJ, that those three give an entirely different persona when they're on.
There was a momentum swing there going into the break, going into that middle of the dual intermission. There was a big momentum swing because the fans were on their feet. Their fans stood up. We just knocked off
after they got the win against Z. It felt a little different because there were some different. I mean, listen, Husker fans can't remember, seeing Hockaday and Z back to back in the lineup in the Big Ten. So that took some readjusting.
Yeah.
Some recalibrating. You had to cleanse your palate because it started to look like and feel like one of those uh-ohs.
Mm-hmm.
And then your captain goes out there. Trelly goes out there. Your national champion goes out there.
Puts a stamp on them.
And a brawl. Like, it wasn't comfortable.
No, never. Their fans were on their feet clapping. They thought, we just knocked off the returning national champ. We did it. We did it. No matter how the rest of this duel goes, we got the one that we needed. We got the one that we wanted.
And I think that would have turned the rest up.
Mm-hmm. It would have made that momentum. There wouldn't have been that momentum swing. But going into that break, I was feeling real good.
I thought that Sparks looked like the guys on the semifinal round of nationals.
Mm-hmm.
That's how good he looked. Am I wrong?
He's All-American caliber for sure.
Right?
I don't think he's in that top tier threshold yet.
Okay.
But I think LJ's pushing his way up there. And this one was huge for LJ, because of the gauntlet that he's been running and the gauntlet that he will run. Picking up a ranked win like that, Sparks is tough. That was Tofi's coming out.
He went in as 11, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Sparks he's old now. He's been around the block. He's knocked some dudes off. He's had tight matches with those top dudes. And I was ecstatic for LJ too. It was awesome.
I still haven't figured out his style. Like, it's a combination of several different skill sets,
mm-hmm.
and he never relies on the same one match to match. Is that a fair assessment?
Absolutely. His attacks are like Brock. He wrestles on top a little bit like me, and he scrambles like Tofi. Right? You're getting a little bit of the best of everybody, and that's something that there's something to that. Those are the guys that he doesn't wrestle a lot with Brock, but I'll jump in with him. Mm-hmm. He wrestles with Tofi quite a bit. During his individuals, I jump in when we're doing top stuff. He's progressing quickly.
You're the measuring stick. So if I asked you, I see him as an All-American because I think he's got that top 8 ranking. But we know that those tournaments, the meat grinder that is the Big Ten tournament, won the Big Ten season, then the Big Ten tournament, which is a whole different level of intensified meat grinder, and then the national tournament.
Mm-hmm.
That is he made of the stuff that ends up on the podium in Cleveland this year?
I think that he absolutely has the ability to. He has the skill set. He has the drive, the determination. We'll see here. If you ask me that same question in 3 weeks, I think we'll know our answer.
I think we got a whole different set of questions in the next 3 weeks.
that is true. That is true.
We got a whole different set of questions the next 3 weeks. Amongst that, in the same kind of context, Mr. Minto is he just looks the part.
Mm-hmm.
He just looks, I jokingly told him last year, I'm no longer calling him Tofi. He's Mr. Minto. Because he started to get his man face.
Mm-hmm.
And he started to get his man facial expressions where he was in control of his emotions, right? And it was that festering sort of fire burning within rather than just explosive and all over the place. But then a thing has happened along with that, is that there's a bit of a super villain smirk that he gets when he knows he's on.
Yeah, he goes from, he's a little Cam Ward, Mr. Nonchalant all the time, to snaps into Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Where he's not playing anymore, it's business time. And I knew that happened at the end of the first period. After the ref blew the whistle, they kind of stood up and the kid pushed him.
Yep.
I was like, wrong dude, bro. That's the wrong kid.
And he got one back, right? He immediately gave him one back. Like, okay, this is what we're doing.
Because it when if you want to get chippy, that's not the one to get chippy with. We saw it against UNC. Kid was being a kind of a knucklehead during the match, and then at the very end of it, Tofi was sitting there dribbling the kid's head off the mat like a basketball. Like, see, like look at you, bro. This is what you get. This is not the one to play with. Tofi's not the one.
I'm good. I've joked with you that I thought that Jake Van Dog. I thought he was in the circle of next national champions, because the gap for him seems to be the shortest bridge to jump in that weight class. That he does a lot of things in tournament form when the legacy is built. Fits. Like, he wasn't even on his game last year in the national tournament and ended up as an All-American. I think he's more in his game, in his bag right now.
Yeah, and even last year, he kind of found himself a little. because he dropped that first match and he hit the podium the hard way.
He went all the way back.
Like when we talk about it before the tournament and people are like, any advice? I'm like, stay on the top side as long as you can. if you lose, and everybody except for one kid per weight's going to lose.
Yep.
Stay on the top side of that bracket as long as you can, because it makes if you rattle off 2 wins on the top side,
makes your life easy.
Top or bottom, you're 1 win away from hitting the podium.
Yeah.
You're 1 win away. Let's just stay on the top. Nope. Jake drops his first match and wants to do it the hard way. And, squeaks by, starts picking up some steam, and then rattles off 3 more straight wins. Right. And then now this year, apart from the one crazy match early in the year, the first tournament, he's been on, and even tonight, and I could tell seeing his face on the mat that he was frustrated, but that kid came in with a game plan. Do not get scored on. Don't give up any points. Try to keep it close and try to sneak one at the end. The kid didn't even want to sneak one at the end. He was totally content with losing 1-0.
I'm good.
Totally content losing 1-0. And those are frustrating kids to wrestle because they're not going to open up. They're not going to take any risks. Their whole plan is that they watched all your matches from the year. They know everything that you're going to try to do, and they're just not going to let you do it. They're not going to try to win. They're okay with losing, which can be frustrating. But Jake was firing off shots all the way until the buzzer. He's up 1-0. If he takes a bad shot, gets ran behind, he loses.
Yeah.
He didn't care. He was like, I am going. I was proud of that effort. The score is what the score was. 1-0. It's a dub's a dub.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, it's frustrating. It's not what he wanted, but the effort was there, and the points will follow.
What are your thoughts on AK 125?
Well, he wrestling a world champ. The Minnesota's freaking good. That is a good team. And AK wrestled one of, I would say, probably the second, third best kid on that roster.
But I was going to ask you, I thought this was his best performance of the season.
I would agree. Didn't quite get to legs as much as we would have liked, but did get in on one great shot. Right.
I thought the effort, the energy, and the intent were the 3 things that this was his best performance. He
was hand fighting real well. Give up a takedown, not ideal, but it wrestled tough. Got off the bottom.
One takedown
match with this kid's already All-American. He's already placed. He's been there. He's been in that top 3, top 5 conversation. He's crept up there into the top 3 once or twice. Like this kid was legit. And AK wrestled well. I would agree that I think that it was his best performance. In a loss, this was his best performance of the year.
Before we go to break, let me ask you about Mr. 285. That this performance on the road, I want to just say it's a full win, check, period.
Yep.
Turn the page. What say you?
I don't. It wasn't his best match wrestling, but the kid's had a lot going on lately. He's kind of ran the little gauntlet here in the past week or so. Week and a half. But I think that little less antics, little more just focus on your wrestling right now. Right? We've had a lot going on. Let's just focus on the wrestling match. Got the job done. Wasn't pretty, but we got the job done. Just a little less of the showmanship. We don't need the showmanship. Let's just wrestle, baby. Wrestle.
The fact that to go into Minnesota on the road after this week and knock off a top 15 heavyweight. Well, young, especially again, we forget he's just moving into heavyweight. Well done.
That was a big kid too.
Yeah.
You could see it on some of those shots. That was a big boy.
Well done through that. All right, we'll take another break. Come back, close out this hour. Huskers get it done. 20-12 in Minneapolis, improved to 9-3, and they set themselves up for one meet at a time. Remind me of that.
Yes, one at a time. That's all we need.
At a time. If don't look too far down on the schedule, it can tell you things. We'll be right back.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it. Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Want to quit tobacco? You don't have to do it alone. The Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line can help you quit any type of tobacco. We offer professional coaches to help you create a personalized quit plan with an online community to support you along the way. Plus, we'll connect you to resources like medications to help you quit, so you have everything you need to become tobacco-free. Quit with confidence. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired in association with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
From Chromebooks to whiteboards, today's classrooms are blending tradition with technology. Hi, I'm Tim Royers, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Learning is evolving, and public schools are helping students succeed in a digital world. Stay engaged, stay curious, and support your child's learning both online and off. Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, it's Alyssa, an AmeriCorps member in my second year of service. AmeriCorps is about strengthening our communities. I have been impacted the most by the lessons students have taught me. They have helped me be more patient and grow as a person in today's fast-paced world. Serving at Partnership for a Healthy Lincoln and AmeriCorps has provided me new opportunities. AmeriCorps does that for people.
Visit servenebraska.gov, paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
A career providing care that matters, great wages, and state benefits. A team devoted to serving Nebraska's veterans and their families. That's what you'll find at the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs. With openings in nursing, food service, administration, and more, our veterans homes in Bellevue, Kearney, Norfolk, and Scottsbluff have a role for you. Find your new career at veterans.nebraska.gov/employment. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Huskers get it done. They get it done. Shout out to the Gophers for putting up the good work. There was a match prior to Nebraska and Minnesota, also on the Big Ten Network, and it's almost like this was the launch. This was the launch to postseason. Like it felt like tonight was the Big Ten, sort of the wild card weekend, where you start to separate the mediocre from the good and the good from the great. And Penn State traveled to Iowa City, and the opportunity, there were discussions, and I almost bought into it until you actually look at the projected lineups, and I went, what are all these ones doing?
There's a lot of ones on
There's
that
a
side.
lot of ones over
And the ones that aren't ones are low digits.
like they're gonna be final day people, and I went, wait a minute, what are we doing? What do we
That's
like?
a tough squad.
And I looked at Iowa's roster. It's a good roster. It's a
good.
very good roster.
And they made a good Iowa team look not very good.
They look basic. Listen, they went in and got the number 184.
Mm-hmm.
Like they went in and got him, and it seemed inevitable almost. Like it was like, oh no, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. And at the lower weights, I kept that was the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And when you didn't get those, I was like, oh, y'all can just stop. You can mail in the rest. What happens in that case if you're looking at that lineup in that space and you don't get a 125 or a 133 win? It's too difficult.
Yeah, I was looking at the lineup earlier in the week and kind of walking through it in my head, and then I listened to a podcast and listened to what they had to say, what they thought about it, and they came to pretty much the same conclusion that I did. They set their line at 1.5 matches for Iowa.
Yeah,
and I was like, I got them winning 1, maybe 2, maybe 84, maybe they pick up a third at heavyweight, but I was like, I'm not really seeing a path to victory for them unless they really make some stuff happen. And, 25, the Dean Peterson kid for Iowa at Rutgers last year beat Lily Dahl in the duel.
Right.
But Lightning Luke's, that's a tough kid. He's good. He's fast. His offense was clicking tonight, and the Penn State offense was clicking tonight. They went in and they had no respect for Iowa's offense.
They were
when they would take shot fakes, they would drop their hands and that was it. They would drop their head, drop their hands. Never were overcommitting to fakes. They didn't care.
They were in the bag that they had seen. They had done the scout work, and as much as they say they don't, they do.
Mm-hmm.
And it absolutely showed up.
Mm-hmm.
It showed up in several spaces. You knock off a number 1. Slightly surprised at one of the wins Iowa got, but okay.
That was the one that I thought that they could get.
Yeah,
Nasir hasn't been having a great year. He's lost some matches that he definitely shouldn't have lost. I'm buddies with him. I've been meaning to reach out to him, see how he's doing, because it was rough there for a minute. But Nasir's good. He's someone who was All-American before. He's had tough matches with Davis before. And I was like, this is the one. They just pulled Davis's red shirt because their other 41 got hurt. And, they haven't wrestled anybody yet. Iowa was at national duels. They've wrestled they wrestled Ohio State. They wrestled Oklahoma State. They've put themselves in these situations already that I knew that he was going to have a little bit of an advantage in that one. But that one, 84 and heavyweight were the ones that I was like, they could do something here.
So I got this text and it asked the question, and I don't know if you can answer it or not. I legitimately don't know if you can answer it. But the question was this: what's happening at Iowa?
Falling apart. They lost their 97-pounder, who was ranked number 4 in the country.
Did they lose him or not?
It seems like they ran him out.
Okay.
They told him to get out. I think from what I've been hearing, I haven't talked to any of those guys.
Right.
There's several different things. The first thing was saying that he popped for steroids. They don't test, so I knew that wasn't the problem. I knew that wasn't it. He did have a kid. Masoma Ndene had a kid, so congrats to him on that this past week. And he's had an injury. He's been injured. He's had a neck injury.
The neck injury and documented neck injury.
Mm-hmm. And people were saying they wanted him cortisone shot, good to go. The doctors were like, I don't know about that. They were like, come in for a meeting. He was like, my wife is giving birth. No. And they're like, all right, deuces, buddy. If you're not wrestling this year, we're not paying you this year. And you got to pay him if they're on the team. He signed the contract.
Yeah.
So they were like, so.
There's been a train of departures.
Lose the Bassett's, lose the Ferrari, lose Masoma Ndene. Like you just dropped the number 4 kid in the 197-pound weight class. Just drop him like that. There's some stuff going on over there. They keep it real hush hush though.
Yeah. They try.
Their press conferences are no good. You don't get anything from them. Which is the one thing that's like weird about wrestling as opposed to other sports, when it's like something's going on. In most other sports, you get something.
Mm-hmm.
They give you something. If someone's not playing football, the coach has to go before and say, hey, he's not wrestling or he's not playing, yada, 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 whatever. Wrestling, everything's always a secret. Penn State, everything's a secret.
Every
Iowa,
injury, concussion.
Everything is a secret. But, you know, someone over there is chatting, so stuff's getting out some way. But
the text was hilarious.
Mhm.
Like I laughed because I was like, yeah, troublemaker.
The people on Twitter make me laugh. They're saying, they're like, what do we need to do to change this around? And then I don't remember what the dude's name was. He just posted a picture of Jordan Burroughs wearing an Iowa
He's
shirt.
like, go get him.
He's like, we need him.
Yeah,
He
go
can
get him.
save this train.
Go get him. No, leave him alone. Leave him alone. All right, that'll be it for this hour. Ridge, what do you want to do? I need to get out of here because I just do. Nick's ready.
You're allowed to leave. You're allowed to leave. That's a thing.
Contrary to public opinion, I do not sleep here all the time.
That's news. That's news for a lot of people, right?
Yeah, I need to get up out of here. But I think you have lots to say about it, lots to break down.
Mm-hmm.
So set the table for them. Take care. Ridge, love it. We'll take you through. Nick will take you through. I'm Deuces. Well done, Huskers. They knock off the Gophers and improve to 9-3.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first. Now is the time to get a glimpse into living and learning at Doane University through a personalized in-person or virtual visit. We know once you experience Doane, you'll see why it's a place where you can achieve your goals and shape your future. Schedule your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job?
Not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone.
If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Thank you, DP. DP exits. Nick Wyman sticking around here. Rich Lovett still here in the studio. Huskers picking up a 20-12 win over the Gophers out in Minnesota. What a night of wrestling! It was everything you could have anticipated because the Penn State, Iowa, everything like that. Nebraska, Minnesota. It was, if you had the Big Ten Network up, and you're a wrestling fan, it was heaven on earth for you.
It was great. Hey, and shout out Me Torilla, Mexican spot out there on 84th. We went over there to pick up some food, me and Harley Andrews, and they had Boston College hockey game on. And I asked our server, I'm like, hey, can we change this to wrestling? 10 seconds later, the remote was in my hand. I was like,
they gave you the remote?
They gave me the remote.
They gave you the remote. At this, how many people were at this restaurant?
It was packed.
It was packed.
Full.
They just gave you the remote to the TV?
Yeah. I had parked in a whole different parking lot. It was full.
And they gave you the remote. How many TVs were at this place?
There was probably, on this wall that we were facing, there was 2.
And they just gave it like, yeah, sure, here's the remote.
Yeah, our server was like, my son wrestles with Liam Cronin. He loves coaching. I want to watch it too. Turn it on.
You're never going to say no to the Ridge Lovett, right?
That's what I'm saying, right? I was like, yeah, let's go. So we gotta watch that first duel. And that one, little bit of a butt kicking, kind of sets the stage for what we got coming up. Those are 2 teams that we're gonna face here real soon. So it was good. Great night of wrestling.
I agree. I watched it a little bit. We had the high school game on. In between, I was kind of jumping back and forth, and I'm like, high school game got over around 8:30, so it's dual started 8, so it was a whole lot of, man, I gotta watch this. This is a big deal. This is the under the lights, big deal. I wanted to talk about Christopher Minto. This guy, 7 wins over ranked opponents so far this year. Your thoughts on that?
I think that we're right where we should be. For Christopher Minto returning 4th place, that's the type of performance, type of season that we're looking to have, capitalizing off where we were at last year. Last year he came in late in the year, didn't come in until the Big Ten season. Started off with Minnesota last year, picked up his first win, and we kind of got it rolling a little bit, and that's what you want to see out of your guy. And where we're at right now, he's wrestling well. How many losses does he have? 1?
Only a handful. I mean, you're facing the top guys. You're facing these top guys every night, and you're coming out with a lot of wins. I mean,
the only one I can remember was with the Oklahoma State kid Facundo, and that one, the one down at Oklahoma, or I say Oklahoma State, it was in Tulsa. It pretty much was an Oklahoma State home. It was neutral site. Yeah, neutral site. Peace out, DP.
He's out of here. I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, it's cold, and they got 18-2, the 6-2 in dual records this year. But still, I mean, that's and you have the
he dropped the one right after right before to Ohio State.
Still,
the one against Oklahoma State, that one was Fugazi. That was the ref. The ref decided that match, which you never want to see that. But the rest of the matches, he made sure that the ref was not a factor.
And he's handled business.
He has handled business.
Stood on business. 7 wins over ranked opponents this year, and he's got. I mean, when does he hit double digits in that category?
Hopefully, here in the next 2 weeks.
I mean, you look at the schedule. That's what a good segue into the schedule. I mean, Nebraska. I mean, you got, you drop that duel at Oklahoma State, come back against Northern Iowa, who's that's not a pushover team. He is a good team. Get the 2 Big Ten wins now. And now the next weekend is cinema, as they say. You got Iowa in prime time at home. Then you have a day off, and then swing right around. You got Ohio State at 1:00 on Sunday, less than 48 hours later. Those are, I mean, what a time to be in Nebraska. I was talking to DP before we started. Tennis started their season. Wrestling's in the peak of their season. Basketball's doing their thing.
How about those boys, though? Oh, my God.
So Jake Sorensen and them went up and made the trip up there to Evanston. They're going there tomorrow for the game. I mean, why not? I mean, the team's in unprecedented territory, and they're winning games. Why not?
I know. I need to talk to our director of ops and tell him, hey, we went out on the football field. We went to
get you to basketball.
We went to the volleyball game to do our little, hey, our team took second last year. We had a couple national champs, Big Ten champs. I need to talk to him. Hey, I'm trying to go to basketball, baby. Give me that free ticket. I'm trying to go. Watch these boys do their thing.
Yeah. Just looking ahead, DP mentioned it, one match at a time.
Which is tough to do.
It is tough to do in wrestling, especially in a team sport. I know a lot of people like to say it's not a team sport. It's a team sport.
Absolutely.
And looking at the Iowa, obviously, they have their things going on. But then you have Ohio State.
Who's on a roll. Looking like a top contender right now.
And then after that, you have 4 days off to prepare to go on the road for another Friday night primetime against Penn State.
Yep, going up to Happy Valley.
That is, how battle tested is this group? I mean, you know what it's like. What's it like going up against night in, night out against the best of the best? Because the Big Ten Conference in wrestling is.
Yeah, it's the Big Ten. That's really what it comes down to. It is by far the toughest conference in wrestling. Big 12, they have Oklahoma State, they have Iowa State, who've picked it up a little bit this year and last year, but Big Ten is leaps and bounds ahead. And with the majority of our lineup, they are already battle tested. They've been through this gauntlet. They've seen these teams before. This isn't new to them. We have a couple new faces in the lineup. With LJ at 65, he's going to have his work cut out for him here the next couple of weeks with Caliendo. And then, it's not going to get any easier.
There's no nights off.
No.
There's no nights off in the comment. We have some comments here in our chat. Somebody said, man, Antrell, what a finish to his match.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Antrell Taylor. Come on.
That is that's the equivalent of hitting a 3-point step back buzzer beater in wrestling. Essentially, that's what that was.
Down 2, 1 second left, bang, 3 for the. Come on.
At the start, you're down 0-3, they go 3-3, 3-6, and you're down 3-9 at that point. It's like, obviously Minnesota was favored to win some of those matches at the time, but Antrell's in a match where fighting to the finish, and you need to get those points for your team, and you get the pinfall there, and that just, I feel like that match was kind of the tide turner.
Yeah, absolutely. Going into the break, and what was looking like we were about to be down 12-3, 9-9. Like, let's go. That's something that was huge, especially out of someone, you need that out of your big guns. We have a couple of big hitters on our team, and Antrell is one of them. He's our biggest hitter, if you ask me. We need someone to back clean up when we got our other superstars, national finalist Brock Hardy at home. We threw some of the young bucks out there, which, if Trelly drops that one, that starts to maybe thinking like, ooh, maybe we shouldn't have done that, whatever. But ultimately, I don't know if it really would have mattered. I think the rest of our lineup really kind of started to clean things up. But a big part of that was Trelly turning the tides. Going into that 65-pound match, I started feeling a lot better following Trelly's than if we would have been, down by 9 points. Be like, okay, now hopefully LJ doesn't go out there thinking I got to go make something really happen. Just win your matches. Win your matches.
Someone else asked about Brock Hardy's status. It was nothing injury related or illness related. The
pitch count.
Broadcast just said they're just keeping him fresh, which is smart to do this time of year.
Mm-hmm. He's got a gauntlet coming up. He's going to have Nasir Bailey, who knocked off the Penn State kid tonight. Then he's going to have Jesse Mendez. That'll be a rematch of the national finals last year. And then, Braden Davis going into Penn State. So, and Brock's as old as me. Come on. Give a kid a break.
As a wrestler, look, because you know what it's like to go through the gauntlet of schedule. I guess what's it like going, because we'll just preview next week. Friday, you have Iowa. That's going to be a big one. Nebraska and Iowa. Always a big one, no matter what, no matter the sport. Then you have one mental preparation day. And then you got Ohio State. I guess what's that like from, and it's same because I don't know what that's like. What's that like from your standpoint?
Yeah, so that day off, it's going to be mainly weight management. During the week, it's going to be ramped up at the beginning of the week. Sunday, we'll get into it a little bit. Monday, we're going to probably hit it hard. Tuesday, we'll probably dial it back just a little bit, but have another good one. Wednesday off, Thursday individuals, maybe Tuesday off, Wednesday individuals, Thursday, just pop off, get in there, get your weight down. Then Friday, handle business, put them in the dirt. Saturday, handle your weight. Get yourself dialed back down, get your weight back under control, and get ready for another fight.
I hate to get off topic here, but there are so many people out and about tonight on a Friday night. It snowed. It snowed here, and there was tennis going on. I think the Lincoln Stars played a game tonight. This wrestling match was marquee that people are going to watch. Yet, and the place is popping.
It's a great time to be a Cornhusker, baby. Basketball's undefeated. Wrestling was kicking butt. All kinds of stuff going on.
The weather will not keep people home. So with that schedule, Nebraska, obviously, next Friday, Iowa, 8 o'clock. Then on the road, Ohio State, Penn State, And then the schedule gets a little lighter toward the end, which is nice. From a wrestler standpoint, would you rather have that meat of the schedule before the end of the season, or have the meat of the schedule and then a little bit of a leeway toward the end heading into?
Little bit of leeway always helps out. And in the past, we've had a tough duel getting ready to go into Big Tens. I remember 2 years ago, that was the only loss I took on the season, was in our last duel of the year. We went down to Arizona State, and they had a good team. They were coming off a team trophy finish the year, 2 years before that. They had tough kids. They had a really good team. And, maybe kind of took a page out of Penn State's book, because usually they do their Big Ten schedule. Then they wrestle a couple of, non-power 4, smaller schools late. And, once you get through that big, we're wrestling the big 3. We'll have the big 3 this in the next,
2 weeks, pretty much.
In the next 2 weeks, we'll have the big 3. And then, kind of after that, it's, you're working on fixing those things, because those are the kids you're going to have to beat to win a national title, or the kids that you're going to wrestle in the next 2 weeks.
And it's going to be fun. I mean, tickets, if I was a fan, I would buy them now, because you have 2 opportunities to see 2 really good duels. And then obviously you can watch the Penn State one on TV. So
Friday, Sunday are going to be insane.
I mean, what's it like as a wrestler to see that kind of crowd when you're at a home meet, no matter who you're facing? Because I've been to a couple matches there. It's from a fan standpoint, it's jaw dropping just to see kind of the support for the wrestling program. From a athlete standpoint, you walk out there after warmups. I guess what goes through your mind?
It's encouraging, and it gets you amped up, fired up. Like, hey, I'm about to go put on a show. Because at the same, I'm an athlete, but at the same time, wrestling, martial art, it is an art form. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to show these people what I do. I've been doing it since I was little, and I'm really good at it. So this is a big opportunity for me to display my skills in front of a fantastic and big crowd. So, it gets you amped up, and so it puts a little more juice in your tank.
We got a comment that says, love the show. Huge win. GBR, Ridge is the man.
Yes, sir.
Here at 11 o'clock on a Friday night, Ridge is getting some love. So yeah,
they threw me a little shout out during the duel. I was getting all amped up.
There you go. See, this guy, you cannot miss. You came here through the snow. I mean, how far of a walk was it, or whatever?
Well, I live in the Haymarket, but we were at Harley Andrews' house, so I was on.
So you weren't freezing when you got.
No, I was in the car, so I just parked right over here. I was not.
You got lucky. You got lucky. I got to make a little walk over afterwards here. The walk of shame, as I like to call it. No, it's not that bad. We're gonna take a break. Me and Ridge will wrap up the show. We'll talk about kind of the Nebraska-Iowa duel and the Ohio State one, and get you guys set for the weekend. So you're listening to the Husker postgame wrestling show here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hello, I'm Steve Sipple, co-host of Early Break, weekday mornings from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And my favorite thing to do, see, or go to in downtown Lincoln is probably O'Rourke's. It's not like I go there that often, but when I do, it takes me back to my college years. It's always been a very chill bar. Seems like they play good music, just a good vibe in there. And I look forward to my next trip into that bar.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
For 66 months with approved credit on all 2025 Ford F-150s at Zollner Ford Beatrice. Save thousands in finance charges. If your current pickup loan's 4%, 5%, 6% or more, trade in today and receive 0% for up to 66 months on a brand new 2025 Ford F-150 of your choice at Zollner Ford Beatrice, Nebraska's volume dealer with the hometown service you expect.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Dana Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Dana Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Dana Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Husker Wrestling post-match show here. Nick Wyman alongside Bridge Lovett. Nebraska picking up a 20-12 win over the Minnesota Gophers. Big night in wrestling. You know that. Penn State. And now, on to Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Next Friday, Nebraska, 8 o'clock start. I'm so used to those basketball games starting at 8 o'clock. So an 8 o'clock wrestling match, duel, 8 o'clock, Bob Devaney, Nebraska, Iowa, always brings out the best of both teams. When in doubt. Iowa coming in 8-3. They just suffered a loss. 32-3. You're going up against Penn State, who is legit. But to just be, that's a dominant performance by Nittany Lions. It's not even close from start to finish. But you have Nebraska, Iowa next week. Ridge, I guess, kind of preview what kind of the top matches you think are going to come from that duel between the Hawkeyes and the Huskers. Because Nebraska's on a great roll right now. Like, North Carolina, you get that win, lose to Oklahoma State in a, 10 points. And, you just kind of wipe the slate clean. You learn from that. Then you beat Northern Iowa, beat Purdue pretty easily. Northern Iowa beat them pretty easily. Then Minnesota match 9. Nebraska got all momentum in the world.
I'm going to have to really go through and break it down because there's going to be a bunch of good ones. The ones that probably stick out the most to me, 49, Lamer, Ryder Block. That's going to be a must-win match, right? Block he's top 20, hasn't had a bunch of great wins this year, but that's going to be a big one. And I'm excited for Chance because we had a great crowd for Oklahoma State, but the Iowa match is different. He's new here, so he understands a little bit the rivalry and everything that goes into that, but that's going to be a big one for him. It's going to be a big one for Ferrari as well. Yeah, this was somewhere he was going to go to Iowa, right? Then a bunch of stuff happened at the Soldier Salute a while ago, and what's up, boys?
Yeah, I know. We got like a crowd out here. Do you know these people?
Yeah, I do.
Do you know these people? Yeah, here.
That big Harley Andrews right there.
They gotta put them on tell them to scoot over. We can get them on the camera here. Tell them to scoot over a little bit. We can put them on. See? Yeah, there they are. There they go. They're running across here.
Yeah.
You got the fan club. Yeah, here we are. Yeah, see? GBR. This is awesome. That when DP talked about having everything down here, this is what you mean. You get the fan base out here and everybody out here. So what a cool situation there. But yeah, go on. Continue your point.
Yeah. So Ferrari, that's going to be a big one. That's somewhere that he was looking to go to school, and now he's with us. So there's a little bit of. There might be a little bit of tensions right there.
It's a rivalry to begin with. It just adds an extra layer.
Yeah, it's going to make it even more exciting. But Iowa, that's always the duel that one and Penn State are the ones that I always have circled on my calendar as a competitor for sure. And now as a fan, it's going to be awesome to watch.
And you mentioned during the break to me, Nebraska's history against Iowa, they've been on the losing end.
Hasn't been great.
And what what do you think those guys are motivated from? Because you think that motivates this group? Because some of these guys have wrestled against Iowa before, multiple times probably. I guess how big of a motivator is that, not only for individuals, but just the team as a whole?
Yeah, Iowa's a hard place to wrestle, right? When you go there, they call it getting carvered. When you have top ranked guys getting knocked off by the lower ranked Iowa wrestler, but getting them at home, you get that fuel back. You're not going to have to listen to the fans the whole time, and now they got to listen to your fans, and you kind of get that energy going. But the rivalry itself brings a lot into it, and it's just hate losing to Iowa in anything. Hate watching the football team lose. It doesn't matter what it is. It's like that's the one team that even if we lose every single duel, but we beat them, we had a great season.
That's one way to look at it. And then Ohio State, that's going to be marquee. Afternoon match, 1:00. Set the stage, Ridge.
Yeah, we wrestled them once this year. Kind of got ran down a little bit. It was, injuries, lots of stuff going on. Team's healthy, ready to go. There's going to be rematch of the national finals. Bunch of top-ranked guys, all Americans on both sides going at it. So that's another one that I know these guys are looking to get back.
So that's Nebraska wrestling for the next 2 weeks or the next 2 matches. Then you got Penn State, and then the schedule. This is the meat. This is where men against men. The boys, no boys against boys here. Big time Nebraska. I guess here I wanted to ask you this. Me and Harrison were talking about this the other night. So Penn State is hosting the wrestling, the conference wrestling tournament.
Yeah, stupid.
And
we wrestled there during COVID. Why do they get it again?
They get it again.
That one didn't count, whatever. Dumb, but let's go.
So Harrison, we were talking about this the other night. They go January 30th to Bryce Jordan Center there for just a duel. How do you think that helps prepare for that kind of wrestling? Because they haven't really been on a road trip. This is their first road duel since early December. It's been a while. And then you go on that, and then you go on a couple then you have a couple road meets, Utah, Indiana, Illinois. How do you think wrestling there beforehand, because the Big Ten, before the Big Ten wrestling tournament's here, March 7th will be here.
Yeah, we're down to like 9 weeks.
It goes by quick. That's what Harrison was like, man, I feel like we just started the wrestling season. I'm like, yeah, it goes by. Like, you rack up matches left and right. How do you think as a competitor, you prepare wrestling at Penn State? You know what it's like to wrestle in there. Do you think that helps Nebraska in a way? No, because you know what the trip's like going to Pennsylvania, the University Park. How does that help as a individual setting the stage and knowing the routine, knowing the arena?
It'll help travel wise with the arena stuff. With the Big Ten tournament, we won't get an opportunity to work out in their wrestling room. That they'll always put out extra mats, and then every team will have their camp. And, it's different. You're in there. There'll be other matches going on with the Big Ten tournament. With the duel, it's just you. Lights are off. Spotlight. So, it'll have a different feel. But being able to travel out there one time and get that feel, so it won't feel new late in the year. Been here, done this. Right? Let's get to what we know best.
Yep, Bridge said it best. So what a night for Husker Nation. So what a day. Wrestling has been something else the last couple days. So we're getting ready here. Ridge love it. Nick Wyman. DP, thank you, DP. He was hopping on because we didn't know. We were like, where's Ridge? Where's Ridge at? But he's
I was finishing up that duel.
DP was like, he's one of the most trustworthy persons out there. I'm like, I totally trust him. We literally sit down here. I get a text that says, oh, Ridge is here. So we'll sign you off here. Nebraska 20-12 win. Big slate tomorrow. Basketball tomorrow. Ridge, you watching?
Absolutely.
Huskers, what do you got? Final score. Put you on the spot.
Shoot.
Put you on the spot. They're rolling.
Western, 84-61. Another blowout. Let's go.
Handle business. You heard it here. See you guys tomorrow.